In the town of Alberobello, Italy, thousands of whitewashed buildings are topped with these heavy, grey, conical roofs. These thick limestone walls look built for permanent stability, standing for centuries against the elements. Yet the structural logic of these homes is centered on their ability to fail. By utilizing a single mechanical trigger, an entire house can be reduced to a pile of loose rubble in minutes. For the people of Puglia, the ability to transform a home into a ruin was a calculated response to a specific threat. This map shows the boundaries of 15th century Puglia, where the Kingdom of Naples imposed heavy taxes on any permanent stone settlement. To avoid these payments, the Count of Conversano ordered his people to build homes that could be dismantled the moment a royal inspector was spotted on the horizon. This mandate created a strict set of engineering constraints. The buildings had to be multi-story and weatherproof, yet constructed without any mortar, cement, or binding agents. In traditional masonry, mortar serves to distribute the weight of the stones and lock the blocks together, preventing the walls from buckling under the pressure of the roof. Without mortar, the downward force of a heavy roof pushes standard vertical walls outward. As this diagram shows, the lack of a binder causes the stones to tumble under their own weight. The solution lay in the specific way the local builders stacked this regional limestone. Limestone is strong under compressive stress, meaning it can support massive weight as long as that pressure is directed straight down through the stone. By utilizing precise geometry, the builders forced gravity to act as the primary structural stabilizer, replacing the need for glue or cement. To support the weight of the traditional arch, they employed a technique called a corbelled vault. This 3D wireframe shows the stacking process. Builders laid horizontal rings of flat stones, with each successive layer stepping slightly inward, shrinking the diameter as the wall rose. On the exterior of this roof, you can see those narrowing rings. This progression creates the hollow, conical shape that defines the trullo. The roof functions as a completely self-supporting assembly, where the pure circular shape of the rings themselves provides all the necessary structural integrity. Because each stone overspreads the layer beneath it, every block is partially unsupported, naturally wanting to tip forward into the center of the building. This profile view shows the inward tipping force created by this cantilever geometry. Without a counterweight, the stone falls, but arranged in a continuous ring, the inward pressure from every stone meets in the center. These opposing forces cancel out, locking the ring in place. To secure the structure, the heavy outer wall is built directly over the back half of these overhanging stones, pinning them down and preventing them from lifting. This creates a stable state where the friction generated by the weight of the stone keeps the entire roof in static equilibrium. To finalize the structure, the builders added a single terminal component, the apex keystone. This diagram shows the locking pressure created by the keystone. By sitting at the very top of the cone, it applies the final downward force needed to stabilize the tightest ring of stones. This keystone doubled as the mechanical trigger. If it was removed, the physics of the roof immediately reversed. Without the downward pressure of the keystone to secure the final ring, the inward tipping forces took over, causing the cantilevered stones to lose their friction. Removing that single block caused the rings to cascade inward. A structurally sound home would revert into a pile of loose limestone in seconds. Royal tax collectors would ride into the village and find nothing but ruins, leaving the people with no permanent property to tax. Once the threat passed, the residents would begin restacking the limestone rings, resetting the geometry, and rebuilding their homes before the day was over. Even though the tax laws that necessitated this design are long gone, these homes remain standing centuries later. Today, Alberobello is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserved as a record of this specific architectural defiance. The builders used raw, unmortared limestone to achieve a result that relies on an understanding of structural physics rather than modern materials. The Trulli houses show that longevity and strength are not always about the strongest adhesives, but about knowing how to let gravity do the work.